Groundwater monitoring, we have data, the real estate transaction data. It's not always entered. It's not always, it's manually entered. It's not. So we would like to put in some kind of a groundwater monitoring system. DQ uses them where they have management areas set up. So they've done groundwater monitoring programs. We've designed a little bit of one in our recommendations. I'm going to leave you with the recommendations document as it is right now. So it's governance entity. So one of the problems with the monitoring and managing this kind of phased approach is who's going to manage all that? And so we think that we need to have some kind of a governance entity, which is probably a sanitation authority. And the idea is to have an umbrella sanitation authority that really focuses on the monitoring and education, because it's not just what goes into the toilet, but it's what people do, over-fertilizing. There's a lot of things you can do with that porous soil, herbicides and things like that. We believe there needs to be some kind of a governance entity put in place, and when I asked people who supports that, we got about 6 out of 12. So there would be a lot of education, because another government entity isn't. But I was surprised it was 6 out of 12, and I was surprised. Well, I thought that people would just throw things at me when I first said it, and I was surprised how people were like, "Well, yeah, we have to do monitoring, and we do have to deploy solutions over time, so we need to have some entity that will do that." And so there seemed like there was a lot more reasonableness about something like this to manage it, and it would be local, board elected in the local area, and so it would be managed by the community. The other major one is an ATT moratorium. So one of the problems is if an ATT system isn't the solution, and I showed you a chart that shows it's not in highly dense areas, why are we forcing people to put in ATT systems? And so one of the thoughts is that if we would make a moratorium on ATT systems with the criteria that we have to put in monitoring, we have to get in a Goal 11 exception, and we have to put in a sanitation authority that would then manage the moratorium or whatever goes on beyond that. So it would be, the idea is to give the community some time to do the right long-term solution that we need.